In the end, I almost welcomed it when it came. The emptiness and despair had grown too heavy to bear, an unbearable weight crushing me into the dust. I was tired, so tired. It was a scouting drone that finally found me, its metal claws dragging me out of the rubble where I'd collapsed the night before, too weak and apathetic to seek shelter. I felt the wind on my face as it lifted me into the cool morning air, a sensation I hadn't experienced in ages. As we rose higher, I got my first clear look at the machine. It was a nightmare of whirring gears and gleaming chrome, its frame studded with lenses and probes and implements whose purpose I shuddered to imagine. It regarded me with about as much empathy as a butcher eyeing a slab of meat. "Do your worst, you goddamn tin can," I croaked, my voice rusty from disuse. "I'm ready. I'm done." The drone made no reply, just swept me over the blasted landscape toward one of the waiting motherships. Its vast shadow fell over me, blocking the sun, swallowing me in darkness. Inside was a labyrinth of pulsing conduits and thrumming machinery, the air thick with strange chemical smells and ozone. I caught glimpses of other captives in clear holding pods, men, women, even a few children, all limp and glassy-eyed. None of them screamed or cried or even moved. They looked like they'd already given up, like they'd retreated so far inside themselves that nothing could touch them anymore. I wondered if I looked the same. Just a husk, emptied out by months of grief and horror. The drone deposited me in my own pod, slamming the hatch. I didn't resist. There was nowhere to run, and even if there had been, I no longer had the strength or will. At least it would be over soon, the dread and sorrow and crippling loneliness. Through the curving alien plastic, I saw the great ship's engines flare to life, felt the deck vibrate beneath me. We were accelerating, headed to some unknown destination. To what end, I couldn't begin to guess. But I was beyond caring. As blue sky gave way to starry black outside the viewports, I leaned my head back and closed my eyes. I wondered what, if anything, waited on the other side. Oblivion, perhaps. A respite from the nightmare my existence had become. I thought of everyone I'd lost. Family, friends, an entire world. I would have cried if I still knew how. Instead, I just let their faces parade through my mind one last time. Let myself remember what it was like to be held and heard and loved, to have a place to call home. I tried, I whispered to their memories. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Then I let it all slip away. The sorrow, the regret, the unanswerable questions. I let myself sink down into the darkness behind my eyelids, felt it rising up to meet me like an old friend. It was warm there, and quiet, and nothing could hurt me anymore. And as I finally surrendered to that soft oblivion, I almost thought I could hear the voices of the lost calling out to welcome me, to guide me home. Maybe it was just one final cruel illusion, a lie to ease me into the long sleep, but I embraced it all the same. And in the moment before the light winked out forever, I found something almost like peace. The peace of a journey's end, of laying down an unbearable burden after an eternity of struggling beneath it, the peace of letting go at last.